Hello, friends. Welcome back to GM Philosophy in the Morning. I'm the GM Philosopher. Today we have some news to cover. Weave your tale in the Forgotten Realms with 8 epic subclasses. So D&D Beyond published this on October 23rd, 2025. So it's been out for about a week now. I missed this. Unfortunately, I didn't look at the news like recent enough to see this when it first came out, but we're going to talk about this. We're going to go over these 8 new subclasses we can expect to see in the Forgotten Realms Heroes of Faerun books, which drop on November 11th. So let's dive right in. All right, guys, I'm going to have my face down here to try to stay out of the way so we can get through this. D&DBeyond.com released this, Weave Your Tale in the Forgotten Realms with 8 epic subclasses by Mike Bernier. So become a legend of the Forgotten Realms. From moonlit isles to the howling tundra, the heroes of Faerun are as epic and varied as the lands they protect. In Forgotten Realms, Heroes of Faerun, you'll find 8 new subclasses that channel the power of gods, elements, and the raw forces that shape the world. Each offers a chance to etch your name into the storied history of Faerun and enshrine your legacy for those that follow. So we're going to go through this. Link to this article is going to be down in the description, but we're going to read on to discover more about the subclasses, how they can help you become a hero that the Forgotten Realms will remember, right? Okay, so first of all, we come to the College of the Moon Bard, okay? Born of the Moonshay's song and the Fae's magic, your music tells tales of moonlit groves. Bards of this college trace their lineage to the Moonshay Druids, inheriting the sacred task of preserving the Isle's Fae songs and ancient stories. This is cool. I've come to like bards a lot more since playing Gromazek of the Blackhorns, Lawful Evil Minotaur Bard in William's campaign. Shout out to William Dungeons 20s. Unfortunately, my schedule hasn't allowed me to continue that campaign much lately, but we'll get back to it someday. Anyway, they draw upon the Moonwell's primal light to inspire allies, protect the natural world, and turn every performance into a moment of renewal. Okay. Weave Fey magic and moonlight into song. College of the Moon Bards are elusive performers, deep ties to nature and the shifting magic of the Fae. With the inspired eclipse option of their moon's inspiration feature, they can vanish in a shimmer of moonlight and reappear elsewhere on the battlefield. A little misty stepping going on, but it sounds like a magical musical version. Through the lunar vitality option, they can bolster their healing spells, restoring extra vitality and granting allies bursts of movement that carry them across the battlefield. Okay. As their connection to their tradition deepens, they learn to call down the moon's silver light through Blessing of Moonlight. The Moonbeam spell becomes both weapon and blessing, searing foes while washing nearby allies in gentle restoration. At the height of their power, Eventide's splendor allows them to share their vanishing trick with others, letting companions slip away from danger or strategically reposition. So classic support character. I'm going to rate these on a scale of 1 to 10, how much I like them. I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. Just because I kind of like bards, I like this nature thing. I like the idea of the Moonbeam spell becoming a weapon and a blessing. That's really cool. All right, let's move on. Knowledge Domain Cleric. Okay, wisdom is the divine spark within you. Every question, a prayer, every answer, a revelation. Okay, I can already tell them like this. Cleric's one of my favorite classes. Clerics of the knowledge domain serve gods like Ogma, Gond, and Denir, treating learning as an act of devotion. To them, insight is a sacred currency and discovery a form of prayer. This sounds an awful lot like a wizard. It sounds like they'd agree with a wizard. These scholars delve into hidden libraries, decode lost languages, and uncover truths and pursuit of knowledge. This is dope. This is dope. I like this. Turn understanding into divine power. Knowledge domain clerics embody the belief that knowledge is power. With the blessings of knowledge feature, they master tools and scholarly disciplines, transforming skill and study into sacred acts. Their mind magical feature allows them to call upon their deities to grant spells of insight and foresight without extending spell slots. Okay. As their connection to their deity expands, they receive the unfettered mind feature, which allows them to communicate telepathically to nearby creatures and resist effects that impose intelligence saving throws. At the pinnacle of their devotion, divine foreknowledge lets them glimpse threads of the future, granting the clarity to act with uncanny timing and unwavering purpose. So some of those things lost me a little bit from being like the arcane or the knowledge domain thing, but still dope. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 just because it started out so strong. And then they lost me a little bit with some of this. Like, the unfettered mind, telepathy. Okay, I would have liked more knowledge stuff, whatever. All right. Drop a comment. Let me know what you think. Which one's your favorite? Banneret Fighter. Your banner is a promise of courage to those who follow and a warning to those who stand against you. Bannerets are knights and champions whose strength is magnified by their ability to inspire others. Found among the ranks of Cormyr's purple dragons, the armies of the silver marches, and wandering as knights errant across Faerun, they embody valor, discipline, and an unshakable belief in unity. This is sounding a lot like a battle master from 3rd edition. Let's see if it is, because I love me the battle master. Leadership was my favorite feat, 3rd edition. It was dope back then. It was awesome. All right, lead by deed, inspire through battle. Bannerets excel when fighting alongside others. Through their nightly envoy feature, they bridge worlds and steel, mastering languages and diplomacy to turn tense parley into alliance. With their group recovery feature, they can rally wounded companions to their feet, their second wind breathing life into the hearts of allies as much as their own. As their training coalesces into leadership, they gain the team tactics feature, which expands their group recovery into an advantage that their allies can use to turn the tide of any battle. Okay, so this is a little bit like the Battle Master. The Battle Master from 3rd edition, basically, anytime when you got high enough level, anytime your standard was shown on the battlefield, like your banner, like everyone would get bonuses and you got things like that. So this is sounding a lot like that. I like this a lot. At higher levels, bannerets can call upon the rallying surge feature, spurring comrades into motion and giving them a chance to strike or reposition as a reaction. That's cool. Later in their journey, the shared resilience feature lets them bear the weight of failure of their friends, lending a heightened use of Indomitable to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. Ultimately, with their inspiring commander feature, their courage becomes contagious, expanding the radius of group recovery and rallying surge and protecting bannerets against effects that would lay them low. That's actually really cool. I'm going to give that a 9 out of 10. I love this kind of fighter who imparts bonuses like this to others. Is really super cool. It's like a support fighter. Really, really awesome. Love it. The only thing keeping it from being a 10 is that it just didn't have, I don't know, there's something, I'm waiting for something amazing for that 10. All right. Oath of Noble Genies, Paladin. Oh, yes, I love genies. The Jinn. You are the living covenant of the elements. Earth, your strength. Air, your grace. Fire, your wrath. And water, your mercy. Is this an Avatar Last Airbender ripoff? Let's see if it is. Paladins who swear the oath of the noble genies draw their might from the elemental planes, channeling the majesty of Tao, Jin, Efreet, and Merids. Merids? I always called it Merids. Many hail from Kalimshan, where the ancient pacts between mortals and genies still shape the fate of the vast deserts. Command the elements with your oath. Paladins of this oath wield the primal power of the elements as both weapon and creed. With their elemental smite feature, they can call upon the power of the 4 types of genies, grasping foes with earthen might, vanishing in a swirl of wind, unleashing cascading fire, or summoning waves that scatter their enemies. This is super cool. I love genies and I love paladins. You all know I love paladins. Their genie's splendor feature blesses them with an otherworldly grace when unarmored, allowing them to dance through battle like the wind. As they rise in power, their aura of elemental shielding grants themselves and their allies in their aura of protection have resistance to damage dealt by the chosen element. Okay. At higher levels, the elemental rebuke feature allows them to turn the wrath of attackers back upon them, reducing the damage of the attack and lashing out with elemental energy. That's cool. So the elements become their weapons. Sort of like Avatar The Last Airbender. But whatever. Genies can do it too. Maybe genies were probably doing it first. At the pinnacle of their power, the noble Scion feature lets these paladins soar above the fray and bend fate itself with a word, so they become genies. Oh, that's cool, man. Oh, that's so cool. I'm going to give it a 9.5. Give it a 9.5 out of 10. Really, really cool. All right. Winter Walker Ranger. Now, before we dive into this, I just want to remind you, I've got cool stuff in the description, guys. Download my free ebook. Buy my new premium ebook if you want to run awesome games that really engage your players. Drive up that emotional resonance, friends. Become a member of my YouTube. Get early access to my videos and buy me a coffee if you don't want to buy any of that stuff to support the channel. Thank you so much. I really appreciate everyone who supports me. And if you don't have any dollars or gold or coins to spare, guess what? Smash that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment. These things are very valuable to me. Thank you so much for your support. All right, Winter Walker Ranger. Winter Walkers are hardened survivalists, shaped by the merciless frost of Icewind Dale. They know the monsters that stalk its vast horizons, the Netherreach ruins buried beneath the snow, and the merciless biting cold. They are protectors of the frozen wilds, though to fight the dangers of the tundra, they must become one themselves. Okay, so far this is super cool. This would have been really cool in my the Barren Lands campaign. Embrace the cold and the darkness that lurks within. Winter walkers thrive where others perish. With their frigid explorer feature, they strike with the biting chill of the tundra. Their attacks and spells cutting through even creatures with resistance to cold damage. That's metal. At the same time, their hunter's rhyme feature grants them resilience while trapping their quarry in icebound pursuit. As they embrace more of the deadly cold, the fortifying soul feature lets them share that endurance with others, restoring their allies' strength and hardening their resolve against fear. Okay, when pressed, their chilling retribution feature allows them to answer with a freezing backlash that halts foes mid-strike. That's really cool. They freeze them. At the height of their power, Frozen Haunt gives them access to a ghostly, snowy form, partially incorporeal and wreathed in a blizzard that punishes all who draw near. I think that's the coolest one yet. Winter Walker Ranger. Getting a 9.75. So cool. So cool. All right. Speaking of Rangers and Blizzards, don't forget, I have started a new campaign and start playing. As of this moment, I have 2 spots left in this game. If you want to play D&D with me, come join us. After this one fills up, I may start a second one. We will see, but don't waste your time because it's filling up quick. All right. Scion of the Three Rogue. Link is in the description if you want to join my game, by the way. Scion of the Three, which is a rogue. All right, you impart the teachings of the dead 3 in Blood and Terror and in Tyranny. Is this some kind of undead thing? I've been really into undead lately. I'm telling you what, I have them on the brain. Scions of the 3 are rogues bound to 3 malevolent Faerunian gods. Bane, oh yeah, hell yeah. Baal, the god of violence and murder, yes. And Merkul, a god of death. Oh, that's my jam. That's my kind of jam. Some scions embrace their patron willingly, reveling in divine cruelty, while others are cursed into service, their souls chained to lethal purpose. Strike terror from the shadows. Scions of the 3 blend terrifying talent and deadly divinity to devastating effect. This is a rogue, but it sounds like an assassin cleric kind of thing. It almost sounds more like a warlock, like a blade pact warlock. With their bloodthirst feature, they can teleport to a recently wounded foe and strike again, turning another suffering into an invitation to kill. Is that a coup de grace ability? Yes. Their Dread Allegiance feature allows them to channel a small portion of the power of the Dead 3, granting them both a damage resistance and a dark gift of magic based on who they choose for the day's work. As their infamy spreads, the Strike Fear feature gives them the ability to imbue a target with the frightened condition. Then twist their victim's terror into opportunity. The growing corruption within becomes palpable through their Aura of Malevolence feature, which lashes out with the Dead 3's energy when they use their Bloodthirst feature. In time, the Dread Incarnate feature completes their transformation, aiding them to strike when and where their enemies are most vulnerable. That is super cool. I'm giving that a 10. That's my favorite one so far, Scion of the 3. I'm not usually a rogue kind of guy. I like rogues, but I don't think I've ever played a serious rogue, even in a one-shot. I just have never done it. All right, let's see what they got for the sorcerer. Spellfire sorcery. Is that a gnome in the image? That's cool. I think gnomes are underrepresented generally amongst the spellcasters. The weave will remember the light of your flame. Oh, hell yeah, that's metal. I love lore about the weave. These sorcerers are rare souls touched by the raw essence of magic, the weave. They can use these talents to manifest spellfire, which is the weave made tangible. Through this force, they can heal allies, sear enemies, and absorb spells. Healing abilities for the sorcerer? That's cool. Ignite the weave. Spellfire sorcerers embody unfiltered arcane energy, their spells crackling with radiant heat and healing light. Through the Spellfire Burst feature, they can unleash this volatile force when they expend their sorcery points, releasing searing flames of radiant or fire damage, or surrounding themselves and their allies with bolstering flames. As they discover more of their innate talents, the Absorb Spells feature grants them the ability to absorb magic, turning spells thwarted by counterspell into fuel for their own sorcery. That's cool. I don't see counterspell used very much, but it's still cool. The Hone Spellfire feature strengthens their Spellfire Burst, expanding both the protection and devastation they bring to every battlefield. At their pinnacle, Crown of Spellfire transforms them into living conduits of Spellfire, radiant beings who fly above the fray, shrug off spells, and turn their own life force into protective flames. That's cool. I feel like it's a little... It sounds like they do a thing, and the thing gets more powerful as they get more powerful, which I kind of like classes like that if I like the thing they do. But this is, I don't know, this started off strong for me. I'm gonna call it an 8 out of 10 because it just, I feel like it didn't really go anywhere for me. Like the higher level stuff kind of just sounds like first level stuff, but more powerful. And I don't know, there's a little something missing. It's so close, but something missing. Bladesinger wizard. Ooh, it's a wizard with a blade. Every step a syllable, every cut a verse. That sounds like a bard thing. Bladesingers study a form of wizardry that blends swordplay and spellcraft into a powerful practice. Originating in ancient realms like Mirth Draenor and carried across Faerun by those who honor its legacy, the blade song is a dance that combines powerful magic and blade work with potent defense. When performed in battle, it is both breathtaking and deadly, a display of precision, grace, and intellect. I feel like there's been a Bladesinger class. I feel like there was one in 3rd edition, but I don't remember. Wield arcane power and deadly blades with grace. When their blade song feature is active, Bladesingers can move with preternatural speed and poise. Their attacks stem from their mind as much as their body while their focus is sharpened. Through the training in war and song feature, they enhance their skills, master elegant weapons, and use them as conduits for their spells. This is a weird wizard thing. This seems like it would be a bard thing to me. But anyway, let's continue. As their mastery grows, they gain the extra attack feature, which allows them to weave steel and spell together, striking with a sword one moment and unleashing their arcane talents with the next. What's going to happen with this is people are they're gonna find really nasty combos with this because they're going to be able to use other wizard spells. They're going to be able to like have a spell book, and they're going to be able to do a bunch of crazy stuff, and they're going to be able to fight with a sword. So I bet this is going to be a broken kind of class. I'll bet you it's going to be really broken. I'll bet there's going to be like people are going to be comboing and stuff with this class. With the Song of Defense feature, they transform spell slots into barriers of energy, their magic hardening like armor to deflect mortal harm. At the height of their discipline, Song of Victory feature lets them follow powerful spells with a decisive strike, blending movement and incantation into a single flawless composition. All right, so that's the 8 subclasses we can expect in the upcoming book, November 11th, Forgotten Realms, Heroes of Faerun. Like I said, link to this article is down in the description. Go show D&D Beyond some love for this post, and drop a comment. Let me know which of these 8 subclasses you are feeling. Which ones are you going to be running? Which ones do you dislike? Which ones do you think you're going to hate as a game master or a player? Drop a comment. Let me know. Hey, thank you all for coming back for another episode of Gene Philosophy in the Morning. I'll catch you awesome people on the next one.